Joesph Leighton, and I'm here on behalf of Moving On Music, talking about all things jazz guitar. That was a tune called With a Song in My Heart, which is an old jazz standard, really beautiful jazz standard. And that was a style of guitar called solo guitar playing, just because it's just me on my own. In this first episode, the first of three, I thought I would talk about some of the gear associated with jazz guitar and who you might like to listen to if you're getting into it for the first time. Some of the musicians that I really look up to and helped me get into this style of guitar playing. So we'll start off with the guitar I was using when I was first getting into listening to jazz, which is this one at the end, which is something you probably wouldn't associate it at all with the jazz style of playing. And there's not many jazz guitarists that would use that type of guitar. It's called a Les Paul. Yeah, it's a great guitar for rock and lots of other things. It's really beautiful sound you can get out of it. But for jazz, it's just not a guitar that I would jump to straight away. So then I thought a lot of guitarists that I was listening to at the time were using this type of guitar, which is a Telecaster. The guy that I was listening to mainly at that time was Ted Green. Fantastic soul guitarist. He has an amazing album called Ted Green Soul Guitar, which I transcribed some of at the time. Yeah, so you get like a really beautiful bell-like tone from this guitar. That guitar, not this one too, but definitely this one. Yeah, so it's a semi-hollow, which is unique for a Telecaster because they're mainly a solid body guitar like this one. So this adds a little bit to the acoustic resonance of the instrument, I think. But yeah, there's still some amazing guitarists that use this today. Including Bill Frisell, you should check out. Julian Lage, a younger guitarist who you should check out definitely. Ed Bickert, who's an older guitarist. He played with Paul Desmond, amongst other people. He's Canadian. Not a lot of people have checked him out, so I think you should, because he's pretty great. So yeah, I kind of was enjoying playing that type of guitar, and then more and more I looked and I saw guys using this type of guitar, which is a 335, Gibson 335 style guitar. This is actually a 333 model, but it's exactly the same guitar. And I actually like this guitar so much that I broke the headstock off it just for the fun of it. Yeah, that was a good time. But yeah, this type of guitar would be used. It's John Scofield, who's one of my favourite guitarists, musicians of all time. He can play anything. He has a country album. He has a few more fusion-based jazz album. He plays acoustic jazz. Yeah, he's fantastic. So he would play more of this type of guitar. Other guitar guys would play this. Adam Rogers, he's great, more contemporary. New York-based guitarist. Who else? Kurt Rosenwinkel played this type of guitar for a while. Yeah, so those are guys you could check out if you like the look of this guitar. It's a beautiful sound off it too. You just don't get the same acoustic resonance from it as you would in this one, which I really enjoy listening to. So we'll get on to that guitar now. Yeah, so this guitar, it's pretty different looking from the rest. It looks more like an acoustic guitar, and that is because it can be used as an acoustic guitar. It's a very loud acoustic sound from it. You might notice one pickup. Yeah, it's just one pickup. That's all you really need for me. You can get a lot of tonal variation from that too, with use of the volume, the tone knob, and your amplifier. And if you want to use pedals and stuff, there's lots of different sounds you can get, and just the way you play it in general. Yeah, but yeah, this is called an Archtop guitar purely because the top is arched. Yeah, it's arched, and it's completely hollow, so there's nothing in here apart from some wires allowing the electronics for the pickup here. This is actually, if you don't know, this is a humbucker style pickup. On this guitar, it's single coil. A single coil has a kind of thinner sound, and there's hum of a single coil. This is why these call it humbucker, because if you see that guitar down, that's what this looks like under the metal plate. It's two single coil pickups together, wrapped around, and it eliminates the hum somehow. I'm not a scientist, but I just accept that my hum is gone. So yeah, that's this type of guitar, an Archtop. If you want to know more of the history about it, as far as I know, one of the first guys that used this type of guitar was Charlie Christian, who played with the Count Basie Big Band, and he would play a rhythm style playing, and he needed a big guitar, a big acoustic guitar to be heard over the big band, because amplifiers weren't really a thing, but when amplifiers started being a thing, it helped him a lot. But he would play this type of guitar with this style of guitar, which is called rhythm guitar, and you can hear that it's very percussive. He'd play four crotchets, four quarter notes, crotchet, whatever, if you're American or British terminology, to a bar, and it would sound like this. That kind of style playing. So the chords, they're not big chords, they're small chord voicings, so they don't clutter the sound of the band, and it just really helps drive the band along. There's a lot of Gypsy style guitarists would use that style to accompany each other to this day, but now in jazz ensembles you wouldn't really hear that sound of playing so much. Sometimes maybe during a bass solo or something like that, it's a nice sound to help drive the band along, and there's a nice cushion for the soloist to solo over. Yeah. So yeah, what else? Amplifier here. This is a jazz amplifier, so there's only one channel. Primarily, the sound of jazz is a clean sound. Nowadays, the modern contemporary guitarists have pushed that, and they use distortion along with that, which is it's a great sound too. But this is a purely one channel amp, and this is a pedal. This is a valve pedal, and it just enhances. It just makes the amp sound better. I think it was a great jazz guitarist from Canada recommended this to me. His name is Lucian Gray. I'll mention him again later. But yeah, this just enhances the sound. So, and this is the only other pedal that I use, and it's a tuner, because it's good to be in tune, I hear. So yeah, pretty basic setup. Some people use lots of pedals. I don't so much. I sometimes use a delay pedal, just because I like the sound of that sometimes. And it's just a little bit of reverb on the amplifier, which just, it just makes the sound a little bit nicer to my ears. So yeah, very basic setup, and so that's all I would turn up to a jazz gig with. So it's nice. This amp is really light too, and this guitar is really light, so you can carry everything into the venue in one go, and it's really nice. I can talk about the strings. There's a couple types of strings that people would use. There's flat wound and there's round wound. Yes, I think these are round wound. So these are steel strings with wrappings around them, and then the flat wound ones have a more mellow, kind of duller tone, which it's a great tone too. But I like the brightness of these strings. And these are pretty thick gauge in comparison to what you might use on one of those guitars. Those guitars would be a thinner gauge, maybe like 9 gauge or 10 gauge. These are 13 gauge, so they're very thick, so they're not really intended for bending. But they give a really nice warm fat tone that I enjoy. And then enhance the acoustic sound, make it louder. which is great. So I'd said earlier that I would recommend some musicians for you to listen to. So I will do that now. When I was getting into jazz, I was listening to rock before that, and it's a great style of playing. I still like listening to it, but then I started listening to fusion, more fusion jazz, which is kind of like, it's like rock drum grooves, yeah, with jazz improvisation over the top, and that really appealed to me. So the guys I started listening to when I was getting into that was Mike Stern. He's a great musician. John Schofield and Pat Metheny. All of those guys can play straight ahead, more acoustic jazz too. But when I was getting into them, the louder kind of drum grooves and bass grooves really was a gateway for me getting into the sound of jazz. Then I kind of started getting into the older guitarists, such as Joesph. He's fantastic. Yeah, he could play solo guitar concerts for 2 hours and nobody would get bored, which is pretty impressive. Yeah, other guys, Wes Montgomery, he's kind of one of the gods, maybe the god for a lot of people of jazz guitar. He just had a beautiful mellow sound and he used his thumb. It's really interesting, you should check him out. Look at his approach to playing and how melodic it is. It's really great. Other guys, Louis Stewart, Irish jazz guitarist. You can get some of his albums, you can see some of his videos on YouTube. Jimmy Rainey, he's more of a bebop style guitarist. Like the other guys actually, they're all kind of bebop style guitarists. But yeah, Jimmy Rainey, he's fantastic. And another guy is Billy Bean. He's great, very unknown to a lot of people. There's only a few like bootleg clips of him playing on YouTube, so you should check him out too, because it's really advanced playing for the time. It's incredible to listen to. If you're into more the gypsy style of playing, which I like to listen to too, 3 of my favourite guitarists are Django Reinhardt. Yeah, unbelievable. He played with 2 fingers because 2 of them got burnt off. It's really amazing. Borelli Legrain, Jimmy Rosenberg, and Stockwell Rosenberg. That's 4. I can't count, but that's 4 guitars. So if you're into that style of playing, I can't really play like that. I haven't studied it at all, but I love listening to it. And those guys have a lot of cool ideas that you get a lot from. Too, yeah. So the more modern style guitarists I would advise listening to are Peter Bernstein. He's an amazing musician, very melodic sound, beautiful approach to the instrument. Jesse Van Ruler, Dutch guitarist, one of my heroes too. Yeah, very forward thinking guitarist. Just really incredible. Other guys here I have a little list. Alage Lund, New York guitarist, brilliant. Adam Rogers, Gilad Hexelman, Jonathan Kreisberg, Nelson Veras, Pasquale Grasso. Now he's a very interesting musician who you should check out, because he's basically taken what Bud Powell did, who's a bebop piano player, one of the bebop godfathers, and he's applied it to guitar, which is very hard because Bud Powell's playing was very virtuosic, and yeah, it's hard to apply to guitar. And Pasquale Grasso seems to be the first guy that's kind of mastered that somehow. It's really amazing. So you should check him out if you want to have your mind blown. And another guy is a Canadian guitarist called Lucian Gray. He's basically taken what guys like Wes Montgomery, Grant Green did, and taken it to a completely new level, which I really love his playing. So that's I'm not sure what the editing's going to be like in this video. I'm not sure if names or pictures have appeared. But yeah, those are guys that you can all check out on YouTube. or Spotify, whatever you like to use to buy their music on Amazon. So those are the guys that I listen to. I listen to all those guitars still to this day, and they've all influenced my playing in some way. So yeah, I thought that would be a nice introduction to jazz guitar. In the next episode, we'll look at my style of playing. We'll look how I maybe approach solo guitar playing, and then in the episode after that, we'll look at we'll maybe dissect a jazz standard. So we'll see how they're formed, how I'd learn it, internalize it, how I'd maybe improvise over it on a nice basic level, and yeah, I think that'll give us a nice foundation to start our jazz careers. Thank you very much for listening. If you have any questions, you can email me. I have a website, it's joesph@leightonmusic.com. There's an email portion of that, and you can email me if you have any questions about anything we've mentioned in today's video, and I will get back to you and share music. So thank you very much once again for listening, and I'll catch you in the next video.